little cheat that I did, and we're live now, so don't say anything incriminating.
No, never.
There was a super hot chick in the fast lane at CVS, but she had like one leg. so I don't know. Uh-oh. All right. Today's National Blueberry Pancake Day, Bert. Do you like a big fan of blueberry pancakes?
I'm not a big fan of blueberry, anything outside of just eating straight blueberries. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, like blueberry pie, don't care for. Blueberry pancakes, don't care for them. You know, I'd rather like banana pancakes, to be honest with you. But like or banana muffins.
Right.
I'm not even crazy about blueberry muffins.
I'm trying to figure out this. This thing here for TikTok, but it's not working very well.
It's not working or at all.
I'm trying to mute it because I can hear myself and I don't want to hear myself.
Oh.
There we go. I just muted it. I don't know if the TikTok people can hear it, but oh, that's what it is. It's my microphone. It ain't TikTok. Let me see. Can you hear me? Can I hear myself?
Yeah, I can hear you still. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, no, I don't like that either.
I don't hear any difference.
No, I do. I can hear myself in my. Get that out of there. I can hear myself in my microphone because my headphones are plugged in. This is a great start to this episode, by the way. I wanted to try a little.
Join us live for technical difficulties. Yeah.
Working. So I'll never do this again. Sorry, people. This was terrible. All right. Let's just go ahead and do it.
Give them a shot to do what?
On this episode, I'm going to try not to screw up our our podcast here with my terrible production. And I'm screwing it up still because I can still hear myself. I don't like that. So I'm going to keep it going here, Bert. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know where I'm hearing this from.
This is why
I have no idea where I'm hearing the audio from. Everything is off. So it doesn't, I shouldn't be hearing myself, but I do. And I'm here. I don't like it.
It sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like I'm hearing the playback of our show through here, and
so you're hearing the delay.
Oh, good. No, we sound great. It's just
okay.
I don't know where the sounds. I don't know where it's coming from. Everything is. Well, it's coming from TikTok Live. Hey, we're on TikTok Live, y'all. This is great.
It's messing with Jerm.
It's messing with me now. We're going to talk. You know what else is messed up, Bert?
What's that?
Yeah. See, it's messing me up still. Go live. Dang, this is a terrible start to this episode. It is TikTok. That's what the TikTok Live thing
See what happens? TikTok becomes an American company and shit starts breaking. I think there's something to that, you know?
Yeah. And I can't turn it off. All right. Well, TikTok Live, you will not be a thing today until I figure that out. I should have probably tested that out earlier, Bert. Anyway, on this episode.
Well, you live and you learn.
Yeah. I tried. Bill Belichick. You guys can watch the playback. I'll put it up there afterwards. Bill Belichick got snubbed. That was terrible. We got the Seahawks and the Patriots in the playoffs, or in the Super Bowl, I should say. They won the playoffs. Yep. Mike McCarthy, Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, newly hired, shedding tears at the podium. And then you have Joe Brady getting promoted after like a week of interviews and drama. All we ended up is just promoting a guy, but we'll find out if that's the right move or not. Next. Sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Stuff About Sports. I'm sorry that it took us like 5 minutes to really get started here, but
I'm not. That's great.
It was great. Yeah. Trying to figure things out in real time. I had this idea in my head that it was going to work out, and it didn't. But I am the Facebook felon Jerm. That is the prettier Corey Burt, and we are presented by the Give Us a Shot Network, powered by Fast Break Coffee, and sponsored, as always, by the haters. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the first timers, the last timers, the long timers. Please like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. Please, we're growing. We appreciate the growth. We appreciate the comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Keep it going. Bert, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Cold. Feeling cold.
Yeah.
I'm sure like
is the weather is
it
like precipitating still down up there? Like
No, that was over late on Sunday, early Monday, whenever, but I will say, I mean, we probably got about a solid, depending on where you are in Jersey, we got about 10 inches. I know some parts saw even more than that, upwards of, almost like 1.5 feet. But, there's still, I mean, this is the first time we've had this significant snowfall in a while. So there's still parts that, like, even driving home today, what will it be, Wednesday? So even driving home today, I still see plows and tractors and stuff like cleaning up some of the edges and stuff in terms of the roads. It's been bitterly cold since Sunday. So like, I mean, we're talking 20s or below. So it's very icy and stuff, but nah, man, I mean, it was cool. I mean, it sucks because I got to clean it up, but like, cool to see kids enjoy a snow day. Just nice to have that as well. But I think we're supposed to get a little bit more this weekend if it stays the course. But hey, man, it's winter in the Northeast. This is what to expect.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of weather, obviously not nearly as crazy as what's happening back in Jersey, but the problem is down here in North Carolina, they're not used to it. And so what ends up happening is, you got these guys are out there putting, sand in the streets. Like they're just trying to, it's like just a bunch of dumb stuff, and people are slipping, sliding. For all you drivers out there, the overpasses that you pass, little, mini bridges or whatever, over highways, that is concrete. That's not asphalt, which means it has a different freezing temperature. So there's ice forms faster and more slick on that concrete than it does on the asphalt that you're used to on the regular roadways. So I know the speed limit on the highway is 70, but when you hit them overpasses, you probably want to slow it down a little bit. And we learned that the hard way at work the other day. We had about 6 wrecks in the span of an hour because people just don't know how to drive in weather. So shout out to North Carolina for that.
I mean, the sign "bridge freezes over" is there for a reason, people. Come on.
Yeah, but you're also counting on the fact that people down south know how to read. So that's like the biggest other problem. Sylvester Dog Noah says Shador Sanders can make the Pro Bowl, statistically being one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, not even just for rookies. But Bill can't get in the Hall of Fame first ballot. Crazy era we are in.
Yep.
Dog, you... That's a fact. That's big facts. That's facts, Kellerman. Let me tell you, bro.
Yeah.
So we had the show written, and you texted me immediately and said we have to add Belichick getting snubbed. And I said,
as soon as we got the news, yeah.
And at that point, you broke that news to me in real time, and I said Belichick snubbed from, like, it didn't even dawn on me you were talking about the Hall of Fame, because it's preposterous to think. Like, would he get snubbed from the Cheetah's strip club? Like they told him he couldn't come in. Like what happened? And then as soon as I read it, obviously all the Adam Schefter and the Tom Pelissero tweets pop off, and Bill Belichick, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Bert, apparently 6 Super Bowl rings. Can only buy you maybe next year.
Super Bowl rings. 6 is a head coach.
8 total, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 11 or 12 Super Bowl appearances total. The second most winningest coach of both the regular season and the playoffs, just second to the Don Shula. Not to mention the dynasty that he helped build and the no bullshit that he helped do. And I like for this. And look, the outrage has been everywhere over the past 24 hours, and I think rightfully so. Like, if this is where you're putting the mark in terms of why he has to wait a year, to me, that's just insane. And For those that aren't familiar, some individuals in the room are saying it's due to the Spygate, Deflategate, these scandals that, had happened during notable Super Bowl Patriots playoff runs and championships. And like, investigations were had, punishments were handed out, they served their time. That's how I look at it too. It is what it is. You can't say he's now he has to wait a year and just ignore all of his other success because of these two things. And this is coming from a Giant fan, by the way. So for me to sit up and look, I hated him when he coached because he was the best coach. He was always well prepared. No one prepared more than he did. He did what it took to get his teams to win. And I'm not talking about cheating. I'm just, for him to be snubbed first ballot Hall of Famer, this is a terrible precedent for these voters and this voting committee to make. Because, Jerm, the first thing I thought about is if you're going to do this for Bill because of the involvement he may have had in some of these cheating scandals, if you will, then that means, does Tom Brady get snubbed when he's on first ballot? Because last time I checked, didn't he destroy a cell phone that had evidence related to one of these investigations? So if you're going to do this to Bill Belichick, where do you draw the line? I mean, obviously you can't snub Tom Brady. We talked about this once he officially retired. Put him in the Hall now. Don't even make him wait the 3 years. Just put him in. So I honestly hope that the outrage is, and this is not going to happen because everybody's so petty and stubborn when it comes down to voting for shit like this. But they should reverse this 100%. It's absolutely ridiculous. The individuals in the room who let this vote happen one way or another should all be kicked out and never get a vote ever again. It is insanity to me that it's reached this level of pettiness. And why hand down the fines, the suspensions, the punishments if you're just going to do this and make him wait? I also think from a human element to it as well, the man devoted his entire life to this game. And look, I'm sure there are haters out there that say, well, he's paid to coach the game. Some of us have to go to work. I'm not talking about that. A man that's devoting his life to making players better, to winning, to growing the game, making the game what it is as well. And you're going to deny him the celebratory fact of literally earning the highest honor of the sport, which is permanent enshrinement in Canton, Ohio. And it boggles my mind because he deserves to be there. He's worked hard to be there. And because you feel as though you want to play disciplinary and say, oh, because he was attached to these scandals, that's why he's not first ballot. We need to make him wait a year. It's so ridiculous to me. And look, if there is any good, then maybe they'll reverse it. I don't think they will, but it just feels off. And like I said before, you're setting a precedent to now every single time a head coach comes up, there should be scrutiny. Sean Payton was just knocked out of his Super Bowl chances when the Denver Broncos lost. He was also attached to some type of scandal in the NFL with Bountygate. So when the time comes in his Hall of Fame career, will he be snubbed just as much as Belichick was? These are the things that they have to think about down the line. Dude, it's wild to me. And I can't wrap my head around it still. I can't.
So the thing about it is, Bill Belichick for 20-something odd years treated these press conferences like root canals, right? He was very prickly towards media and journalists and all this other stuff. And how I took it is, this reminded me a lot of the Terrell Owens thing. Terrell Owens also not a first ballot Hall of Famer, not because he wasn't great, because anybody who watches football, who understands and respects the game of football, knows that no matter how you want to slice it and no matter what metrics you want to use with it, Terrell Owens is one of the 3 best receivers in NFL history. There's only 2 guys you could say definitively without a real argument that are better than him, and that's Jerry Rice and Randy Moss. After that, you can't really go much farther after 3 if you're gonna, if you want to bring up Marvin Harrison or Larry Fitzgerald, but it's Terrell Owens. And why did he not become a first ballot Hall of Famer? Because people didn't like his attitude. He was mean to Donovan McNabb, and he talked shit to the reporters. And people didn't like that. That's not fair. That's not, because at the end of the day, everybody wants their legacy immortalized. Mm-hmm. And what's the funniest part about it is, just because these writers who have sand in their vaginas don't like Bill Belichick, do you think people are just going to say, Bill Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer? Of course he is, because now it's not about him now. It's about you. Nobody in their right mind thinks that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's an insane, it's insane. And so all you're doing is, honestly, you're immortalizing him more, because now you're just the jerk who didn't vote for Bill Belichick. And the one thing that I've learned from this, or that anybody should take away from this entire thing, is that the Hall of Fame votes should be public. Like, Bill Polian is fucktard. Well, I don't remember who I voted for. You don't remember who you voted for a week ago, you jackass? Of course you do. You're the same guy that said Lamar Jackson should be a running back coming out of the combine. This guy's an idiot. These are the people voting for Hall of Fame status, y'all. Just letting y'all know that right now. It's crazy to think that. And Bert, I think me and you talked about this with the Terrell Owens thing. If you're like top 10 at whatever your thing is, there shouldn't even be a vote. Like, does Bill Belichick shouldn't need a vote? Like, Derek Jeter shouldn't have needed a vote. Ichiro shouldn't have needed a vote. Like, the players, certain people, special people deserve special treatment. We know that Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. Of course he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's ridiculous. We need to take, if this is going to be the thing, we need to take humans out of it. There's already an algorithm in place to predict probability of making it to the Hall of Fame as a player. I think Pro Football Reference does it, or Pro Football Focus, one of the two. It's basically BCS criteria. You take tangible criteria, whatever you want that to be, and you put it into a computer, and you let that spit it out. Because I guarantee you, it would say that Bill Belichick's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what
I want to know who the 10 were that said no, and whether it was 100%. Individuals who were from the media side. So the 32 from the reputable media that got to vote, or if it was one of the 17 NFL. What do they call? I don't forget what they call them, but like, those that were on the NFL committee too. I need to know. It needs to be public, and they need to justify why. And we're not talking about a player or a coach that's on the fence and we're not sure, and it could go either way. Like, this isn't like I love Eli Manning. I still think he should have been first ballot Hall of Famer through and through.
I agree.
But when he didn't make it last year, I understood. There's a lot of back and forth. He's got a 500 record all around. So that I get. I want to know who said no to Bill Belichick. Make it public. And honestly, there needs to be accountability here, because this is the first time I think I've experienced something so egregious from the NFL Hall of Fame voting. We know we go through this shit every year with baseball, because they let anybody and everybody cast a fucking vote. But it's insane to me that this is what happened. And the aftermath is any indication as to how much they fucked this up, as if we didn't knew already. Former players, coaches, analysts, talking heads, everybody, whether you loved him or hated him while he was in a coaching position, is going, what? It makes zero sense. And Bill Belichick has every right to be dumbfounded by this decision. It's such a slap in the face. I will say, is it notable if someone was a first ballot Hall of Famer? Yes. But once you're in, you're in. But to deny him 365 days of celebrating permanent enshrinement, to me, just seems insane. Why take away that 1 year of him enjoying his life's work? Yeah. It's wild to me. I can't. I'm going to be watching this slowly. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens even during final selections, when the ceremony's going on too. You made a great point. It feels like the TO thing all over again. Somehow more egregious because of all of the accolades and accomplishments that Belichick has. Not to say that TO didn't, but I think in the coaching position too, it just makes it all much more special.
Yeah, it's just a bizarre story. It's a bizarre outcome. if the Pro Football Hall of Fame isn't for the most successful coach in the history of the sport,
Dude, yeah.
then it's just like an expensive museum for people who were just nice to the media. Like, just call it that. It's the hall of nice people to the media.
I know that they were politicking. Robert Kraft had people that were politicking to try to get him in the Hall of Fame. I haven't read up on that and whether or not he was still A, eligible, or B, making it far in the process. If he ends up getting voted in and Belichick's out, that's going to be even more crazy. It just, dude, at some point Goodell's got to step in and be like, this is like, you guys, like, this is absurd. We're reversing this immediately and sending out an apology. And then those individuals are never allowed to vote again. The individuals that voted no are never allowed to vote again.
Yeah. So we had some football played. We had the Seattle Seahawks defeating the Rams. And then you had the Patriots surviving the Broncos, I guess, in a terrible weather game, which I don't even want to get into it. But let me know who had the bigger win, Bert. Seahawks or Patriots?
Man, this one was tough to pick. I admired the fact that the Patriots were able to, the best they could, start off a fantastic defense. In the Broncos, it's weather. I think I was probably slightly more impressed with the way the Pats handled themselves. You have, look, Vrabel is a fantastic coach. Second time coaching in a game like this too. First time, of course, with his first, his first year with the Patriots. But you can't help but not be impressed by Drake May, to be honest with you. And I know this wasn't a huge statistical game for him at all, but he's very comfortable. He seems like he's been here before. Again, it wasn't an offensively explosive game, but overall, I was certainly impressed with how the Pats got it done. On the flip side of things, more exciting was obviously the Seahawks game, plain and simple. It was back and forth. It was tippered. You had Matt Stafford being the very best of Matt Stafford, but Sam Darnold, my God, and the Seahawks in general. And we can obviously focus in on this game, but like when you look at the last 2 weeks of just dominant offensive football, I think that is what a lot of people are they have their eye on going into the Super Bowl. I suspect we'll see the Seahawks on top, and we'll have all the time to talk about it next week in our show leading up into it. But what was more impressive to me, man, I'll be honest with you, I was split completely. It was more entertaining to watch a Seahawks game, but I do have complete admiration for what the Pats did too.
Yeah, I mean, the Pats, cockroaches of the AFC. You can't kill them. They're going to keep coming back. I'm so sad. I can't believe that our 5-year window is already over. But I've made no bones about it. After 13 seconds, when the year Mike Vrabel got fired from Tennessee, I begged the Bills to fire McDermott and hire Vrabel because I knew this was going to happen. This is what good coaching does. It takes a 4-win team last year and then brings them to the Super Bowl this year. We'll get to the Bills a little bit later, but I can't get mad at that. I respect that. I like Mike Vrabel. But in terms of the bigger win, it's hard for me to give it to the Patriots because the only reason I won't give it to the Patriots is because the weather affected the game and the Broncos were without their starting quarterback. And so they were already in a good position. There was a lot to like about what Seattle did. Seattle proved that you don't need the biggest names in the world. From the no-name coach. I didn't even know what their coach looked like. I knew his name, but it was the first time I heard him talk all year was during all the stuff after the game. I was like, wait, that's the coach? I got no idea what he looked like. And so for me, it's Seattle. The Patriots win, because of the historic, because of the road record and it's like the return of the Patriots. It was basically a defensive stalemate and then a blocked field goal and a prayer won that game. Seattle's win was a statement. They took the best version of the Rams. They had Stafford was there, Nakua was there, their top 5 offense was there, Devontae Adams was there, and I think Seattle proved that, hey, we're not just happy to be here. We are the best team in the NFC, and we're going to prove we're the best team in the NFL when I feel like they believe they have a really good chance. I think they, like you said,
they do have a really good chance. Yeah.
We'll talk. We'll get more into it in depth. Trying to line up some guests because I think next week's episode is just going to be all Super Bowl talk.
be.
So, but Seattle, to me, had the bigger win because I think it put a lot of people on notice. Sam Darnold put a lot of people on notice.
Yeah.
And the way, like, just to put it in perspective, Bert, this was a stat I had for our Bills segment, but I feel like I should just say it now. You know, the Bills' number one problem was wide receiver last year. The Seahawks are paying their wide receivers, that include Jackson Smith and Jigba, $13 million less than the Bills are. So that's not good. That's just so that's a win for the front office. That's a win for the coaching staff. That's a win for the players, and all around a good win, big win for everybody. So, speaking of Matt Stafford, who was on the Vikings last year, Vikings, Bird, I don't know if you know this, didn't do too well this year.
You mean Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold. What did I say? Sam Bradford?
No,
holy
shit. Matt Stafford.
Oh, I said Matt Stafford. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had Rams on the brain. Sam Darnold on the Vikings last year. Vikings didn't do too well. The Tennessee Titans just hired Robert Saleh, got Brian Dable as the head coach if he doesn't get the Raiders job. So that's, they'll be bounced back. They'll be fine. And maybe not next year, but in a year after that or two. But they're looking good now, but it hasn't looked good since they fired Mike Vrabel. Who should feel worse, the Titans or the Vikings?
I think probably the Vikings, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The Titans knew what they had, and they had a window, right? And your coach is everything, but so is personnel as well as players. And, Mike Vrabel did his thing in Tennessee. He did. They had 2 losing seasons, and that's when they said a change was needed. And I absolutely respect that. But, when you look, Vrabel was hired, struggled a couple years, then 2019 decided to bench Marcus Mariota, start Tannehill. They clinch. This is the 2019 was their huge upset season as they they ran through the Pats, the Ravens, and then in the AFC Championship I think got knocked out of by the Chiefs, who ended up winning that year too. And then again, I think clinched the division the next couple of years. Early bounces out of the playoffs. We've seen this happen time and time again. And then look, 2024, 2023. Or was it 23, 20? Yeah, 24, 23. And then here they are. No, 23, 22. And then they didn't clinch the playoffs and Vrabel gets fired. I think the Titans shouldn't be upset. They had that window. They came close. They just didn't get it done. I think the Vikings should probably be more upset at this. That's only because Sam Darnold being there a year, you had JJ go down in preseason that year, if I'm not mistaken. Darnold steps in, finds the balance, ends up taking them into the playoffs, and then, unfortunately, early exit there too. I just think, Sam Darnold's a guy where after the Jets, not a lot of teams have given him that leeway, and he's proved since being on the Jets that he's a winner. But nobody wants to tag him. Nobody wants to keep him for their franchise, and I think he may have found that right now. And we know the Seahawks have always been, ever since Russell Wilson, the second coming or second chance. We saw that with Geno Smith in years past too. So Sam Darnold is an offensive force. He's proven himself to be a very good, smart quarterback, and with the right coaching and the right weapons too. As we can see now, Super Bowl bound quarterback. And he's looked good all season long, much like he did last year with the Vikings as well. So if I'm a Viking fan, then I'm pointing to that, saying like, we should not have let him go. This was our guy, but oh well, here we are,
It's 100% the Titans, because you took a flyer on Sam Darnold. It worked out well.
Did.
But you had a rookie contract that you had to preserve. I understand that. And the Titans hired Brian Callahan, who promptly went 4-19 after the fact. And then you fired him and started over anyway. And now you're sitting there 3 coaches later, 4 coaches, only your 4th coach since then, or whatever it's been. And here you are, dealing with, hopefully Robert Saleh is a thing. And then to see Mike Vrabel take a team who was just as bad as you were last year to the Super Bowl. So for me, the bigger loss, because that, like, you set your franchise back. Like the Vikings, they didn't set their franchise back. They have to retool, I guess. But I mean, you're talking about the Titans having number 1 picks and doing all this stuff, and now they're gonna have a high pick again. It's just a lot of shit happened for them. And I don't know. The Vikings thing was severe, but I understand it. But you basically nuked your culture that Mike Vrabel built for a new vision that lasted 20 months. It sucks. It's just a shitty thing for them. But you know, shout out to the Titans, I guess. I don't know. Another head coaching spot, Mike McCarthy not returning, but I guess he's from Pittsburgh, coming home to coach his Pittsburgh Steelers. He's very emotional during the press conference. I understand it. It's great. However, it's one thing for the human to be, that's a nice story. And then there's a sports fan that says, huh? You fired Mike Tomlin for the white Mike Tomlin? They're the same guy. One's offensive and one's defensive. One's black, one's white. Difference.
Yeah.
They're the same guy. They have like the same postseason. They're the same dude. Not that I get firing Mike Tomlin, but I do understand. I wouldn't have fired Mike Tomlin. It's a change, but there's also, you don't fire Mike Tomlin for Mike McCarthy, I guess is the best way I should say.
I don't think technically he stepped down. It wasn't a firing, but there was a mutual separation.
Listen, most big corporate businesses, they don't fire anybody because of optics. They invite you to quit. They invite you to leave. Hey, you're gonna resign today, bud. I'm just letting you know. And it's like that. You know how it goes. But you're a corporate. You understand. Come on now. Without betraying any confidences, you're corporate. You know how the game's played.
With you though, like to your point, the same person. It's just one's offensively minded, one's defensively minded. They are both safe, consistent, structured individuals. There is no wow factor. There is no edginess. There is no, I mean, dare I say, spark. Like it to me, it was one safe hire versus another, and you truly do. It's just swapping out defensive mindset versus offensive mindset. And I think what can really help out in Mike McCarthy's case, and this really does depend on the quarterback situation next year, is do you want to provide a system that's going to structure and grow a young quarterback, or are you going to have the reuniting of the Super Bowl winning Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy? And if that's the case, like, do we want to see that again too? Is Aaron Rodgers about it? Personally, I think Aaron Rodgers will want to play one more year, but I don't know if that's to the benefit of the Steelers, to be honest with you. Especially if they're looking for that true change through and through, especially when it comes down to coaching and everything. So, but to me, it was one of those where I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay. It was such a stark differential. As a Giants fan, getting, Harbaugh, I am amped about that. The players are amped. The organization is amped. I understand it's a great hire in Mike McCarthy. It's just, the reaction is just like, all right, cool, I guess. Like, let's see how it plays out. And maybe his time in Dallas too is what's kind of tempering people's expectations, especially after leaving Green Bay, and having big expectations in Jerryland, and them not really coming out ahead. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of mid for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's about as exciting as a plain bowl of oatmeal. Like if you're sitting there as a Steelers fan and you're like, okay, all these young, innovative offensive guys that everybody's raving about, speculating about who's going where, and you end up with Mike McCarthy, I don't know how good you feel as a Steelers fan. However, because it's the Steelers, it's a very Steelers hire for the reasons you said. Safe, plain, not that exciting, hard nosed. That's the kind of that's all they've had. It's, to me, I guess I'll lump the Aaron Rodgers question if they should bring him back. Mike McCarthy stated that he'd like to have him, which shocked me considering how everything happened in Green Bay. Maybe that was more of an Aaron Rodgers thing than Mike McCarthy thing, but if you're not going to if you're trying to instill a culture, I guess it would be the safe thing to do to bring Aaron Rodgers back for a year, because then he could help Mike McCarthy instill that. They can still develop a young quarterback if they wanted to. I don't know if you want to put everything in the Will Howard basket. Like, if you're Mike McCarthy, if you're the Steelers, I don't think he's there to do that right now. Like, he's there to kind of save a sinking ship. The problem is, the knock on Mike McCarthy has been his clock management, and it's like that's kind of been their issue. So I don't understand. It's a curious hire. Yes, he's won a lot of games, but again, it's the same as Mike McCarthy. You haven't won them when he mattered. So yeah, I mean, the bottom line is the Steelers hired a coach that knows like the Greenfield, Pittsburgh neighborhood area better, than most on the market. And adding Aaron Rodgers, if you're going to re-add him, doesn't make it a win now move to me. It just makes it, hey, help me set this thing up for the next few years. Another curious note, when Bill Cowher took over for Chuck Noll, and when Tomlin took over for Bill Cowher, they were all between 34 and 36. McCarthy's like 46. You know what I mean? He's older. He's a lot older. So he does, like, as you know, these Steelers, there's only 3 Steelers coaches since the 60s. Like, these guys are here for a long time. I don't see McCarthy sitting there for 15 years. I don't. And it's just, it's so it makes it very curious. Makes me think, because Sean McDermott seemed like a Pittsburgh Steeler guy. That's a guy I could see hanging around for 15 years there. But he obviously said that he was going to take a year off from coaching. So maybe McCarthy was plan B for them. But yeah, I do. It's very curious. I do think I agree with you. I do think Aaron Rodgers should come in and try to stick around more, because I think he played well last year, and I just don't think there's any other opportunity for him, really. Like, Pittsburgh's about it. He didn't have a really opportunity anywhere else before Pittsburgh. And I think Pittsburgh played well enough that I think he should give it another chance for anything to help Mike McCarthy set a culture there. And then maybe they'll win some games along the way.
Do you think he's the guy who would go there with the expectation of maybe starting? Like, would he be the guy to go there and be like, I'm thinking the Kurt Warner, Eli Manning dynamic in New York, like, go there, start a couple games, but being the old veteran, maybe take a step back. Let's let someone else take the reins, knowing that, the sun is setting on his career too. To me, Aaron Rodgers is just that guy that it's him or nobody. So I mean, I'm with you in all sense of, like, it would be cool to see him back there. He's still got some gas left in the tank, but could this do more harm than good in trying to set a culture if he is not that team guy?
Yeah, because I guess the two lines of thinking would be, Rodgers gives us the best chance to win now. And maybe the 2026 draft class isn't that great for, like you said, you bring in Will Howard or somebody like that, or Will Howard's not ready. You bring in some other guy, like Rodgers would be a bridge. So you let Rodgers and McCarthy reignite the magic for a year. And then hopefully the defense can kind of carry you. I mean, but like you said, the other thing is, Aaron Rodgers is more of a philosopher king than a mentor. Like, he's not there to help. Maybe he's not there to help. I think he's changed a lot this year in Pittsburgh. He's just been a lot more team friendly guy. I mean, he's out there defending Tomlin. Tomlin and Cam Hayward are walking off the field together, blowing kisses to the crowd, the losing crowds. Like, Aaron Rodgers has been different. And I don't know if it's just the football mortality showing up, but the fact of the matter is, Rodgers didn't have a single 300-yard game last year. He's 42. He's not 32. So yeah, he's not going to be any more mobile. And the mental edge that he had didn't help him in the wild card loss to Houston. So is his ego, maybe his ego is damaged from that, and maybe he'll be fine. But I think if you could do worse than Aaron Rodgers as a bridge quarterback, I guess, with all of that being said, you're only going to have him for a year anyway, at a time, if anything. So you're at least going to have him one more year, even if you do end up drafting a quarterback, even if you think Will Howard is the future there, whatever, but at least that Aaron Rodgers gives you a decent chance to win, because the beginning of the year, the Steelers were winning. Then the injuries started happening, and it kind of derailed their season a little bit. But they still ended up in the playoffs. They still ended up with a winning record. They're not they may not be close, but they're not far. You know what I mean? So I just maybe Aaron Rodgers for one more year wouldn't be a terrible thing. So, and I like watching Aaron Rodgers play football. He represents like our childhood, and I don't want to see him go yet. Selfishly,
last of that era for sure. Yeah,
last of that era. Bert, speaking of eras and eras changing.
Oh yeah,
Sean McDermott out.
Yep.
Joe Brady in. They took their time. It seemed like they interviewed everybody. The Mr. Rogers, somehow, the grave of Mr. Rogers. They interviewed Mr. Rogers. They interviewed Captain Planet. They interviewed Barney the Dinosaur. They interviewed everybody for the Bills head coaching job, only to promote Joe Brady, which a lot of Bills fans, hey, you nerds, you old fart nerds on WGR talking shit about Joe Brady. Hey, air raid guys, you guys call yourself the Bills guys. Every time I see your tweet, you're talking about how terrible it is to hire Joe Brady. I don't want to see y'all hype up the Bills next year when we do well. You go be the Jets guys now, okay? You go be the air raid for the Jets then if you don't like it. Joe Brady's the coach, all right? Shut the fuck up. It's just doomsayer talk is nonsense. You can be disappointed that you thought you were going to get somebody else, but to just talk shit about Joe Brady like he's going to suck when he hasn't even done the job yet is, to me, just, you're an asshole. Stop being an asshole, bro. Like, he's the offensive coordinator. He didn't have say in anything. Like, the number one complaint is if the thought process of firing McDermott was it got stale and we couldn't break the playoff wall, why would you promote his offensive coordinator? Well, I'm going to tell you why you promote the offensive coordinator, because the offense was the only fucking good thing about the team last year. You want to talk about they were the number 3 scoring offense. They were number 1 in EPA. They were number 1 in touchdowns. You guys are just fucking dumb. All of you are fucking dumb. Emotional babies. All right. Joe Brady, if Joe Brady had that resume of the top 2 scoring offenses the last 2 years, which the Bills have had, the last 2 years he was the offensive coordinator. If he did that with the Chargers, you guys would be there sucking his dick. All right. I mean, he was the best candidate available. It's just he's attached. And you know who you want? You wanted Grant Udilski or whatever his name is from Jacksonville because he's 30 years old. This motherfucker didn't even call the plays in Jacksonville. Why would you give him Josh Allen? I wanted Brian Daboll, right? I didn't even think about retaining Joe Brady because I was just under the assumption when you move on from the coach, you move on from everybody. I already resignated the fact that we were going to lose Joe Brady. But I like Joe Brady. I think the complaints that Joe Brady and Brandon Beane and a lot of the team had was the same ones Daboll had when he was here, that McDermott wanted to run a conservative offense. What is Joe Brady supposed to do? He's supposed to say, fuck you, McDermott. I'm going to run what I want to run. He's the coach now. Give him a chance. Like, you're willing to give a chance to a guy who has never been a coach before on a different team, rather than a guy who's never been a coach before that's been on the team. And I don't know if you know this, the quarterback really likes. So I'm sorry to go on a tangent.
He must have said something in his no, I mean, I think that was perfect. It summed it up perfectly, but he must have said something in his interview that both management as well as, Josh Allen vouching for him, basically saying like, hey, this isn't the continuation of the McDermott era. This is going to be something completely different. And to your point, did he have a say? Yeah. And how the offense was run. However, that's limited. It's, it is what the head coach wants. And if the organization feels confident about it and knowing that they needed a different direction after Sean McDermott, then this is exactly what they need, plain and simple. Could this come back to bite them? Maybe. But I do think this is his opportunity to run it how he wants to run it. And with the support he has, why not? I'm with you. I did not think this was going to be the case or the possibility. I thought for sure it was going to be Daboll's return home. But in any event, I mean, you have to be happy with how this turned out 100%. Given all the other candidates out there, this is probably the best case scenario.
Yeah. A lot of people who are critical of this claim that Brady is just a continuation of McDermott, like I was saying before, but McDermott was a defensive specialist, right? Like that was his thing. Brady, basically the same offensive wonderkind kind of young genius that Bills fans claim they wanted, and we had one in the building, right? You guys forget he was the architect of the 2019 LSU greatest ever offense, right? With Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, which I don't know if you know this, Bert. Justin Jefferson might be available for trade. Just letting you know, Bills could use a receiver.
Yeah, you can, or two.
And he brought balance back to Buffalo. And at 36, he would be the youngest. He is now because he is the coach. He is the youngest coach in the league now. And so people love to praise Sean McVay for being a young genius, but want to grill the Bills for hiring a guy who's already coordinated a top 5 offense 2 years in a row. Make it make sense.
He's filling a seat that literally McDermott had, and there's no lag time between them. The chair he's going to sit in is still stained with the stench of McDermott's farts. There was no time to air it out. And I think that's what the issue was, but not to the fault of the organization. You go a week without filling a head coaching spot, especially when there are viable candidates out there, then the fan base is going to get restless. But I think he's carrying a lot of the criticism because it was just 2 weeks ago. Hate to bring it up, Jerm, going to 2 weeks ago, not a catch, ruled an interception. Y'all got knocked out and coach fired. Week of interviews, and this is what it is. There's just not enough time for separation. I think this will cool down a little bit. Give it a couple of months. Let the Super Bowl hangover hit, and then once everybody's at camp, everybody's going to shut the fuck up. Especially when you guys undoubtedly take the division next year. So,
oh yeah, Buffalo Bills revenge tour is definitely coming. We do have
Josh Allen revenge tour. He's literally. I think he's already emailing. He's taking a page out of Carl Powers' book and he's emailing all those officials actually that ruled that an interception without review, despite the fact that we've been seeing multiple catches since then that are somehow a catch despite lack of control. But here we are. But hey, listen, why harp on the past, right?
Carl Shuffers, you'll rule the day. Just letting you know. I hope I never see you again, and I hope I never see you in the streets because I don't know. I can't control my body because I can't even I got to stay off the internet because I keep seeing it and it's just making me angry because the more I see it, the more I don't understand how you couldn't rule it as a catch.
There's someone in the Bills Mafia who in social is literally every single questionable or catch that looks like it shouldn't be a catch. He's creating a video about it. It's coming up on my feed. It's making me angry. I can't imagine what it's doing to you and the rest of the fan base.
Well, whatever kills you doesn't make you stronger. So, we've been dead a long time. So we'll hopefully next year we'll make it back. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Joe Brady's going to call the offensive plays. So now the pressure is off on finding an offensive coordinator, which is fine. I do hope it's Davis Webb because I think he's very bright and he's Josh Allen's best friend. I think that can only help. And then defensive coordinator is the big thing. Jim Schwartz got shafted out of the Browns job. And basically was led to believe he was going to get the job, and then they fucking hired Todd Monken from under him, and he's under contract, but he said he's not coming back. Sorry, y'all. Fuck y'all. Also stated close to his camp that he doesn't care that he's under contract. He's not coming back to play, and he'll make it ugly if he has to. I would love Jim Schwartz to come back and be the defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator for the Bills when the Bills had the number 1 defense when Rex Ryan was our coach. And I would love for him to come and be our defensive coordinator. There's a lot of talk of Jim Leonard. I think he's a linebackers coach or a defensive assistant coordinator with the Broncos. He used to play for the Bills. He played for the Bills back in when we were in high school and shit. So that'd be a nice. Just bring all the former Bills back, man. Let's just bring them all back. I would love it.
The Pats are having success with bringing back former players and having them coach. So why not?
Yeah, Jim Leonard is basically people like him. There's been a lot of talk. I know he has interviews with the Chargers and I do believe the Raiders as well. So we'll see what happens there. Joe Brady has to pick his staff, and I hope he picks a good one because we're gonna have to fill a lot of holes. Bert, do you have a game ball you want to give out?
Yeah, man, I'm back on my shit. Anytime there's a Yankee in the news and he's doing something good or getting an honor in some way, shape, or form, I'm gonna be a homer about it. And despite all the fantastic playing I've been seeing in the NFL, I'm going with Aaron Judge because it was just announced today. He's the new cover athlete of the show. Wow. Of course, why wouldn't you go with MVP Aaron Judge? What are you going to put Shohei Ohtani back on there again? No, that's boring. You want the true home run king, which is Aaron Judge on there. So he's getting my game ball.
My game ball is going to a young lady named Taryn Smith. She was a yoga instructor She quit her job in, let me see what she was. She had an HR job and she was a yoga teaching instructor. She quit her job to train full time for 2 whole years, to row by herself across the Atlantic Ocean. She said on this trip, it's taken her 60 to 85 days. They just did a check-in with her. She's 25 years old. She's out there by herself. She has a video vlog up. There's people. She has 3,000 miles to go as of today. So, yeah, shout out to her. She started December 14th. So yeah, they got her. She says that she rows about 10 to 12 hours a day, mostly during the day, and then spends the rest of her time maintaining the boat, preparing meals and resting. So yeah, she's doing it, man.
How big
Not
is
sure
the boat?
It's like one of those, it looks like a rowboat, but it definitely has like a compartment in it. It looks like something I haven't really seen. It's definitely a single person boat. And then in the front there, it looks like it has a little where she sleeps, I guess. Obviously she's not sleeping like outside. And it looks pretty cool, but she's rowing it. It's not a motorized boat. She's rowing this boat, and that's what she's doing. And she's doing it by herself. She has her little camera. She's vlogging. She probably has some type of Starlink on there so people can track her, and she has GPS, so she knows she's just not rowing. Because I was like, how is she rowing? Like, is she just like has a destination? No, she has a destination. There's checkpoints, so people are lined up cheering her on, and I think that's dope, man. I think you're 25, you ain't got shit going on. Hey, man, row the Atlantic. She said she was inspired by an all-female rowing team, and I think she forgot the team part because there was a bunch of them doing it. She just decided to do it by herself. So, you know what? Fuck it. Shout out to her. I would never do it. She's better than me. I'll tell you that.
Sure. Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. That's. I mean, I don't even like going 10 feet offshore. Like, fuck that. Like, that's insane. Great for her though. That's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, she eats MREs. Like, she got meals and whatever. I'm sure she's catching fish and doing whatever she has to do. I don't know, but shout out to her. Shout out to us, Bert. We're ascending the ranks. We're almost at 11.5K on the Instagram. Please follow us at Stuff About Sports on the Instagram. We're going to start going live on TikTok.
Come follow us and fight with Jerm in the comments.
I love it. Yeah. Your tears are like PEDs to me, and you fucking Eagles fans, you think you're getting to me, but you're not. You're not. You're really not. It's like, it's hilarious. It's funny. I enjoy it. It consumes a lot of my day, but I try to respond to as many people as I can because you're taking the time.
This is how I open the comments. Anytime you put something, I open the comments. I'm like,
yeah.
All right. Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, no, he's not wishing death upon people. Okay, good. This is a good day. Yeah.
I'm getting really good at that. I'm getting really good at
so proud of you. It is awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
It also helps that I have a burner account that I can just switch to and then wish death upon people there too.